All right, well, good Monday morning to you. We are here. Actually, I guess technically it's Monday afternoon. Here for some Monday motivation. I promised you guys in 2021 that I would bring on some of my friends and the people in my network that I draw motivation and inspiration from. And today is no exception. This is a, 20 plus year friend of mine who is genuinely one of the most positive, inspirational people that I know. So, welcome to Monday Motivation, my friend Cesar Paz. Cesar, how are you, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Chris, man. Thank you for that, and thanks for having me. And doing well with considering the circumstances with COVID and everything. Life's good, right? It's all perspective.
It is all perspective. I've said that so many times, man. It's funny, 2020, personally for our family, for Team Garrido was a great year. And I almost say that with a little bit of guilt. It's almost like, oh, I don't know if I want to admit that it was a great year for us because there are so many people that have businesses that are struggling or, they've gotten sick or they've lost loved ones, whatever the case may be. So, let me ask you that. Let's start with that question. I mean, I know 2020 was a great year for you in a lot of different ways. How do you balance that sense of joy that you get from having such a great year, but also with the natural empathy that you have for other people and the things that they're struggling through?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think my whole mindset is it has to do with the fact that life's always going to throw you curveballs, right? If you think about that, anybody can say it doesn't matter how much money you have, what materialistic things you have. Life's always going to throw adversity towards you, whether it's health, financial, whatever. And I think the thing is it's how do you deal with that mentally and emotionally, right? You can get knocked down and you can lay down there and you can sulk and feel sorry for yourself, or you can get up and say, you know what, that happened. Weigh the options, and just try to keep moving forward. Figure out a way to make it work because it's always going to work out. There's always going to be a solution, right? And I've learned that in life in so many ways, whether it's playing sports in school, from mentors, friends, somebody like yourself, that just doesn't happen. That mindset doesn't, you just don't wake up and you have that. That comes with experiences. And I think in my life, I've dealt with plenty of adversity, but I've also been dealt, with a lot of really amazing experiences, friends, families, and that makes it easy for me to deal with adversity on a daily basis. So something like COVID, it brought a lot of fear because change it brings fear. It's something we can't control, but what it doesn't control is my mindset, right? I may be worried or anxious about something that's going to change, but I know I have some sort of control. So just trying to find the positive in anything bad is the way I roll.
I love that about you. One of the things that you just said kind of reminds me of the quote that says, everything is going to be fine in the end. And if it's not fine, then it's not the end. Again, you just keep moving forward until you get to your goal. I think I see a lot of your friends on social media, predominantly Facebook, where you post a lot of really positive messages. I mean, just over the top positive messages, and people love it. And I think people need that, more now than ever. It's part of the reason why I do this Monday motivation thing. It's like, I think, every week we almost just need to reset and remind ourselves of like, what is our goal? What is our purpose? Like, why are we working this week? What are we going to put all this effort and energy into this week? But one of the things that I would say is your stuff is always positive, even in the midst of negative things. And maybe everyone doesn't know the negative things that you've gone through or are going through, but one of the things, I'll give you an example recently, was you were on social media for weeks just talking about how beautiful life is and hey, all my people spread love, be happy, etc. And then I found out that your dad was really sick. And so, talk to people about the strength that you have to remain positive even through the really bad times, and overcoming some of the struggles that you've had in your own life.
Yeah. So it's true. It's true. I'm a very positive person on the platform, and to your point, I've been asked, hey, how do you stay positive through those types of scenarios like you're asking me now? And for me, it's clear cut and simple. I don't have another choice. We don't have another choice. When I say we, anybody that's going through a struggle on a daily basis, whether it's personal, family, whatever, right? Really, you have a choice, but you don't because again, you got to deal with it. You can't sweep it under the carpet. It's not going to go away. My father's situation is one that just was something that was manageable, and ran into some situations that put him back in the hospital. And this is a Green Beret, right? I was raised, my father's, was a Green Beret military, right? And he raised me to be this way. One of the hardest working men that I know, you know. But he's never in my life let me feel sorry for myself. I mean, I remember one time in high school, I had probably one of the best games of my life in my high school football career. I was going up against, like, I think it was a 4 or 5 star recruit. And I was like, man, this is good. I have my hands full tonight. And we won, and I had a great game. And saw my dad after the game, and like, how do you think I did that? He's like, listen, you played well, and I think you had a great game. But he didn't forget to point out um, the things that I could have done better. It wasn't negative. It's just that's how his mindset was. Don't ever become complacent in life, just because you had one good night. In his way of raising me was always, you can always do better. And it wasn't something to say you're not good enough or you're not doing good enough. It was a whole mindset. And I watched him go through that in life. And even in a wheelchair and being, basically paralyzed from the waist down for a few days until, everything got fixed. I saw a guy who was frustrated and angry and sad, but not once was he ever really, throwing the towel in, you know. So I sat back and I looked at that. I said, here's somebody who woke up, can't move his legs his whole life. He's a hard worker, and he could easily just be complaining about, you know, all the bad and everything that's wrong. But he was still talking about, once my legs get working again, I need to get back to work. I need to do this. So for me, my mindset always in life is, and my dad's always been that way, and I have friends that are that way. Um, I have to spread that message. It's just my personality. I'm a people person. So when I'm posting all that stuff on Facebook and I'm generally a happy guy. I'm generally a positive guy, but I'm a real guy. I'm a human. I have my problems. I have my issues. I have my adversities, but I deal with them head on. I don't run from those type of things. I deal with them, and I'll be honest. The reason why I post a lot of that stuff, or the why behind I do that type of stuff, is because I know I'm not the only one on this planet dealing with adversity. I know I'm not the only one on this planet with a sick father. I'm not, you know. And so if that message that I spread can just help one person get over that hump, and then that person spreads that message, it may spread like wildfire. You never know what your words can do for somebody who are struggling. And I get a lot of DMs, just from friends and random people, just saying, "Hey, I needed to hear that this morning," or "Hey," and that is my reasoning behind it. I could care less if people got on there and bashed me for it, because at least they're acknowledging what my message is, and it's all just trying to help somebody. That's it. And that's really all I want to do.
Yeah, I love that. I love all of that, and the fact that you get it from your father, and I get those messages sometimes too, and it's so awesome, and I think it's why I continue to do stuff like this, is for that one person that says, like, hey man, that Monday motivation message, I really needed to hear that today. Or the other thing that I'll say that happens quite a bit now too is that, when I stopped doing these, at the end of 2020, I would get these messages periodically like, hey, what happened to Monday motivation? I really used to look forward to that. Like, sometimes you don't realize the impact that you're having in other people's lives. Like, to me, it was just a video on Facebook, but to other people, it was a weekly check-in, just to kind of get that message. And so I think you and I are really aligned when it comes to that. One of the things that I think is really, sort of symbolic of your positivity is the fact that you never really know where the next great blessing lies. And I think you know where I'm going with this, because we talked about it a little bit earlier, but like, sometimes, and I've been through this in my own life, I went through a really, ugly breakup, and was trying to kind of figure out, where my life was. I was, in my mid 30s, and, all of a sudden one day I go shopping to buy some polos, and, the woman that checked me out of the store is now my wife, and we have 2 kids. Like, you never know where those blessings lie. And I think about you because I think you've got some really great examples of that. But talk about that too as a reason for remaining positive, because at the end of the day, you never know where the next blessing is waiting for you. And if you don't have the ability to get up and go out and find it, then you're going to miss out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, 2019 for me was a culmination of what started out as an amazing year and big plans, and ended in a way that, I just had no plans for. I was in a relationship that ended that, I was very happy about. And, for, other circumstances and reasons, we decided to part ways amicably, and have nothing but respect and love for that person. In the midst of that change, though, I took some time to myself, and I really wasn't interested in finding love or romance anytime soon, and after some suggestive options from friends and stuff, I did the dating thing on the Facebook, like I was telling you, earlier, and I just met this amazing woman that I'm with now, and the beautiful thing about it is, previously, as you're setting your life up and you know what you want, you have the expectations, right? Because there's certain expectations of goals you want to meet, where you want to be, whether it's personally, romantically, financially, etc. And so, I'm at that age where I want to be a father. I want kids, and so I had all those plans aligned. I thought it was going to happen, and I was excited about it, and that all changed. And here I am with Fatima's her name. She likes to be called Fatty. She likes to be, go by Fatty, and it's funny because she's a little tiny 5'1", nothing close to fatty, woman. But just an amazing person. The beautiful part about it is we asked her to go to dinner with me, and after a 6-hour dinner date and just lots of good conversation and figuring out we were very similar in many ways, here we are 8 months later, and it's like I met my best friend. I met somebody who I feel like I've known my whole life, but I've known for 8 months. You hear that and you see that in movies, and you hear people talk about it, and you're like, that doesn't exist. That's cheesy. That's corny. Well, here I am, and I'm the guy that's eating my words, because I did meet somebody with no expectations, and she's a beautiful woman, but what she has inside of her is priceless. It's like that. So yeah, I'm happy. I mean, life's good. Life's good, and I'm happy, and I'm looking forward towards the future.
Some of the best things that have ever happened in my life happened during the worst times. And that's a message that I tell every single person. Whatever you're going through right now, keep going through it, because you just don't know what's, a foot, a mile, or a day ahead. And
stay on the path, right?
Yeah, man, you just have no choice. You got to keep moving forward. It is what it is. So let me, I've been told that my Monday motivations run too long, and you and I could have this conversation for hours. I know that. So let me start to land the plane here. I also feel a little nostalgic too. Like, me interviewing you is taking me back to 2000 Gaither High School on the football field on Friday night, or interviewing you as an offensive lineman at USF after that. For those that don't know, my past life, I was a sports reporter, a sports anchor, and Cesar played football at Gaither High School and also at USF, where I covered him. But tell me, one of the last questions I'll ask you is this: what are some of the positive life lessons that you got out of playing sports? I mean, I know I got tons, and I see them being instilled in my sons now. What are the things that you still use today that you got from all those years of playing baseball and football?
Sports are a huge factor in the man that I've become, aside from the coaches and mentors that were there throughout that whole journey. But being an athlete, like any competitive situation that you're in, you're going to have days where you're the best, right? You go out there, you just dominate, and you're on top of the world. And then there's going to be moments where you can't make a block, you can't hit a ball. It's just, and your confidence just nosedives, right? And with that, again, it goes back, right, to choices, right? With that, you either say, you know what, I'm going to quit. I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to go do something else. I don't need this. It's just messing me up. But that's not how it works, right? Anybody who's ever been successful at any level or anything has been through adversity, has been through tough times. But the one common denominator is that they've never quit, right? There's plenty of people that quit and just fold it up and say, I'm done with this. I don't need it. You just can't quit, right? You have to understand that to reach the goal, the end goal, you're going to go through adversity. It doesn't matter if it's, playing the actual game or a setback in the classroom, or something is going to happen that's going to challenge you. And at the end of the day, what's your mindset? Are you a quitter or are you a fighter, right? And it's never been in me to quit, right? And that's what sports taught me. I went through a lot. I had sports for me was awesome. It was a great run, and I had a lot of great experiences. But sports also taught me a lot of things with all the the losses and being benched, at times, or not performing well. the mental battle that you have with that, it just taught me to be mentally strong, and I carry that into my everyday life.
It reminds me actually, and I'm sure you remember John Forbes, who was an unbelievable running back
Oh
at
yeah,
high school. Yeah, I interviewed him and I interviewed his dad for a feature his senior year, and John Forbes was Guy Toff Award winner. I mean, best running back in the county, all of that, best player in the county. But he was 5'6", and so because he was so small, he didn't really get D1 offers. He wanted an offer from one of the big three schools in Florida, and it didn't come. And his dad told me this. I mean, we're talking about almost 20 years ago, and it's stuck with me. I've never forgotten it. He said, John has to understand that life's not about the opportunities that you're given, but how you respond. And I just thought that's everything. Like literally, that's everything. It's not about what life creates for you. It's about what you create out of that. And I think that you do a really, really great job of overcoming that in your own life personally. And I love that you pay it forward to all the people that are in your network. So last question. It's Monday Motivation. Yesterday was a great day for all of us. Everyone can see you got your Bucks hat on. So tell me quickly, Bucks, first team to ever play a Super Bowl in their home stadium. How exciting is that? And what's your prediction for the game? I'm going to put you on the spot 2 weeks out.
Listen, I'm fired up. We're on a 7-game win streak, right? We haven't lost in 7 games, and
haven't lost since we played the Chiefs, who we now play again.
Absolutely. I'm saying Bucks at home in the warm weather. 31, Chiefs 24.
Ooh, 7-point game.
I'll say it because of this, right? We went to New Orleans. What was it? 2 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans, embarrassed us the last 2 times we played them, right? Nobody thought we had a chance, and here we are. I think we're a resilient team. We're a different team now. We got Vita back, but the common denominator is having a guy like Tom Brady in that locker room, talking about the conversation we're talking about now. That guy's done it all, right? So when you have a guy like that that's in the locker room, there's a different kind of peace and leadership. And the fact that we lost to Kansas City and the way we started out that game and how we finished, because if you remember, they jumped out on us really quickly, but we made it closer in the end,
3-point game.
3-point game. So redemption. This is redemption. This is where we close the chapter of this year's season at home and rewrite the history books. And I'm going with the Bucks. Did I say 31-24, right?
Yep. And I'm with you. I think adapt and overcome, right? Like we lost badly to the Saints. They beat us twice. We had to go into their place to survive and advance. And we made the changes we needed to make. We did the things right that we had done wrong previously, and we won. Everyone said, oh, well, the Bucks can't do that because they've already lost twice. No, they changed that narrative. Everyone said the Bucks couldn't play and couldn't win in cold weather. Green Bay's a better team. All Green Bay needed was a conference championship game at home because they'd never had one of those. Well, they got it. Guess what? The Bucks changed that narrative. And so what I say is this. If you can go beat Drew Brees and the Saints in the Superdome, and then you can go win in Lambeau in January, when you come home and play a Super Bowl in your home stadium for the first time in NFL history, you're going to find a way to make it work. And 2 weeks of rest will do wonders for people like Antoine Winfield Jr. and Ronald Jones, and just let some of these guys get healthy. And I don't know what the score will be yet, but I think you're somewhere in the right ballpark.
Yeah. Listen, I know KC's a high scoring.
Good game, but Bucks win though.
Yeah, I know KC's a high scoring game, and whoever sees this is going to think I'm nuts with that number. But that's just my prediction. I just want the W. And I'll say one last thing. We talked so much about Brady in that game yesterday, but man, I was so proud to see Big V, Vita back in the middle, collapsing that gap, because you saw what it let JPP do and the rest of the guys. So you put that in 75-degree weather in Florida, I'm ready. We're ready.
Yeah, I agree with you. And not only was he, the run stopper that we kind of needed him to be up the middle, but the push that he got up the middle was unbelievable, like you just said. And I don't think that JPP and Shaq Barrett have 5 sacks without him. You could see the difference with having him in the middle and the big push that he gets there. But anyway, I don't want to turn this completely into a sports segment, because I know we could have that conversation for hours also. So last question as we wrap this up. Who are the people in your life that you draw inspiration from and motivation? I know you mentioned your dad. I think that's an obviously one, but who are some of the people that you sort of draw your motivation from in this life?
I mean, Without a doubt, no question, my mother, man, my mom. You know my mom. She's a woman that comes from humble beginnings, never had a whole lot, but is the most selfless, giving, happy. If I had to compare myself to somebody, I'm my mother's son. From a personality standpoint, and I draw. I mean, there's nobody else that I could really. My mom's the one that I draw all my energy and strength from because she's just that person, right? Kane Brown has a song that I love that he wrote about his mother, right? And when I hear that song, I'm like, damn, he wrote that song for my mom. Like that, it's just a mentality, right? Like anything I do and everything I do in this life, I hope I make her proud. And I get it from her, man. She's just a beautiful person, selfless, and a warrior. So
I had to set you up with that question because we couldn't wrap this segment up without giving a shout out to Miss Norris. So one time for Mom Dukes, I needed you to just get that in there.
Sir, thank you for that.
Cesar, I love you, brother, man. 20 plus years of friendship, and I just think so highly of you. Your positivity, man, it jumps off the Facebook screen. People need more people like you in their lives. And at a time like this where the country, I think, is so divided, you are a unifier. You are genuinely one person that says, you don't have to agree with me, and I'm still going to love you, and I'm still going to respect you. And you do everything in your power to bring people together. And the country needs that so badly right now. We all need it so badly right now. So thank you for you, and thank you for your positivity. And my hope for you is that 2021 is even better than 2020 was.
I appreciate that, brother, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And this was awesome, man. Thanks for this time, and we'll see you soon. Go Bucks.
I love it, bro. Go Bucks, man. Happy Monday.
Likewise. Take care, brother.